Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We survived our first horde. We are here in our little house, and it looks like might be a little bit of a storm this morning, but we got a job to do. We got some food cooked. Here's all of our stuff we picked up last night. Read that. Let's go ahead and drop some stuff off and head to our job. Not a lot to drop off. Well, I mean a lot to drop off, but not a lot to just throw in. What is this? Scrap shovel, level 4. Got one. We're going to throw these wood frames in there. Keep the brass because I'm selling it. I'm going to sell the 556. Let's open this up. Ooh. Okay. Throw some mods on some stuff. What is this? Serrated blade mod. I think I have that same one already. Okay. So that can sell. Structural brace. Or degradation. Okay. We'll throw that on the knife. I think I have 2 spots. Yep. If I find an ergonomic grip, we'll switch it. And open. Knife guy. Armor. Unlocked the bicycle. Unfortunately, have not unlocked the workbench. I think I barely got the forge. Oh no, I only need 2 more books. So if I don't open the bike soon, at least we can get it soon. Okay, what else can I throw in here? 45 ACP. I should probably keep that. I'm going to. Hardly any 9mm for my pistol. That sucks. I don't need the bones anymore. And I don't need the pipes anymore. I guess for that SMG, but that is a backup weapon only. And we'll sell that. Hang on to a little bit of food, a little bit of yucca juice. Throw the rest in here. Whoops. Go ahead and hang on to that. Get rid of that. And we'll throw these shotgun shells. You know what? I'm going to sell the shotgun shells. I don't use shotgun anyway. Okay. Let's go do a job. Little base held up great. I was very happy with it. On the other side of things, which is... Whoops. Jobs this way. Which is really nice. We don't have a horde tonight. I know that much for sure because it's a 2-day horde every 2 days with a 4-day variance, which means horde happens from day 2 to day 6, and then it resets itself. So no horde tonight. Still on 30-minute days. I think I'm still enjoying that. But it's definitely taken a bit to get used to, for sure. You know what? Let's go ahead and eat that sham chowder and drink that yucca juice now. That'll get my food up. Definitely get my water up. And that way I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so movie-wise, I believe I don't know what this is. Anyway, I believe the last thing we talked about with the movie was that the ambulance had come in and gotten jumped by zombies. And I think that's kind of where we left things off when it comes to the movie itself. Let's go ahead and loot this truck, start the job, and then kill that guy. Yay, nothing. But that's not the entire truth of it. So they were talking to the zombie in the house, and in the crematorium, and she's telling them that the reason why they crave brains is that dying hurts. It's a constant agony, and brains make it hurt less, even if it's just for a very little amount of time. It hurts less. Oh, loot. And so they crave the brains because it will make the pain go away for a little bit. And I always thought that was clever because no one ever tries to explain how come zombies eat brains. I have to wake up everybody, but shortly after that, and this is where things really start to get fun. So the guys go back out to the ambulance. They're all freaked out and everything or whatever, and they get jumped by zombies at the ambulance. Now, while they're getting jumped, the zombies get on the radio for the ambulance, and they call dispatch, and they're like, send more ambulances. Because more brains, right? And so dispatch does. They send more ambulances, and of course they jump those ambulances, and then they get on the dispatch, and they're like, send more cops, and they send more cops, and so on and so on and so on. It's actually quite funny, little bit that they had there, because throughout the movie, just more and more and more cops and ambulances show up, and they keep getting jumped. And so, like, the level of comedy there to just keep telling the same joke over and over and over again, and successfully, I might add. It's not like this is a dumb joke that they just try to play off on you multiple times. It is a wink and a nod, everyone knows it's baloney joke, and they just tell it like 5 times. And it is funny every single time. Now, so we did talk about the friends being jerks in the cemetery. They're just, and like, by being jerks, I mean like they're drinking in the cemetery, and they're climbing on headstones, and they're being the worst kind of teenagers. It's that thing where it's like, it's not so much that they were just necessarily bad children. Which seems to be kind of a theme in a lot of this, is where it's like, if you're a horrible, lascivious person, then you're going to get your comeuppance. Now, that theme also is in this film. with the girl who gets naked in the cemetery. She definitely gets her comeuppance for being a nasty person, right? Like, that happens in these movies. It's the whole cautionary tale idea. Sweet. And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I like the tropes that occur in these films. But most of these kids are not like the worst people. They're just kids being kids and not respecting things, like they should. And it is what it is, right? They're just kids. Okay, let's modify. Pocket mod. Hell yes. At least give us a little bit more carrying capacity. Eat that. Drop that. Let's see. We're going to sell this wrench. Let's get my stuff together to sell. Sell the painkillers, sell the steroids. We'll go ahead and sell the oil because I'm not going to need to make tires anytime soon. And I'm fairly certain that's all oil's good for. I could be wrong, so, if I'm wrong and you feel like I need to be corrected, feel free in the comments section. But, all in all, most of the kids make it to one place or the other. They're hiding out one way or the other, right? So the kids that make it to the warehouse, they end up in the basement somehow, and they end up finding that original zombie that was released whenever the guy that runs the warehouse is trying to show off to the kid. They find it downstairs. Girl screams. Big ordeal. And then the rest of them end up at the crematorium, where it becomes a fight for their lives because zombies are trying to get in and break in and tear stuff up and all of this. And while all of that is happening, they're also having to deal with the fact that their friends are, well, at least to them, for all intents and purposes, their friends are dead. I've never seen all of that up there. And I feel kind of dumb now because I feel like I should have went up there. Because it feels like maybe there was something to loot up there. And there's a freaking set of stairs right here. And I just plain overlooked all of this. Well, a little bit of something anyway. So the friends that were originally exposed to all of this, they are now, the paramedics have already basically said that, like, well, you don't have a heartbeat. Lord, there was food and everything up here. You don't have a heartbeat, all of this stuff, and blah blah blah, all this. And so they're like, the guy who runs or works at the warehouse, he's like freaking out. And I mean, okay, I get it.
Great,
but
now you can strut sitting down. Good job.
But he's straight up freaking out. Oh, out of those, I'll take the cobblestone.
You want vehicles or parts?
And the kid, I don't think he knows exactly how to react or handle it, but he's kind of freaking out too, mostly because the other guy's freaking out. And it's an ordeal, and so they're like, well, you guys could turn into one of them, talking about the zombies. And so they decide to lock them in, I think, the sanctuary of the funeral home part. So they lock them in there, and then the kid's girlfriend, she decides to stay in there with them. and like it's an ordeal. They start hurting and all of this, and the pain starts to set in. And most of this is after having heard the lady talk about um, it being painful to be dead. The one guy really overreacts and starts to make an ordeal out of it,
Thank you very much.
and so on. And so it ends up being a funny bit as well. But
I've got a little coin if you got the elbow grease.
Pokemon Gym,
You're as brave as a
I'm in.
bigamist. Good luck.
But it's a fun ride. I mean, I'm just gonna say that it's a fun ride. You have to suspend a decent amount of disbelief to enjoy this ride, but it is a fun ride for sure. Uh, that's in the city. Okay, where's my house? Straight. Okay, we're gonna run to the house, dump off some stuff, try to hit another job. Ugh, 1800. We're gonna be pushing it. If I had a bike, it'd be a whole lot different. But maybe by the time I get this dropped off, we'll hit a drop. We'll go get that airdrop, which I realize only after the fact that I have my airdrop set for every day, and that was for a game that I was playing where I wasn't using the trader at all. So I had everyday airdrops to compensate for that, and I forgot to change the setting. So sorry about that. We'll go ahead and cook some water. Might as well, right? But it's on, it's already dropped. So I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of it since it's on and already down. And then I need to change that setting so that it's no longer like that, because that does make it a little too convenient, too easy. Of course, with 30-minute days, it's kind of nice. Oh, a knife book. Okay, cool. So that's one of the books that was added from a mod. I think there are 3, which they're adding the sledgehammer. They're finally adding the sledgehammer book, which is great. I'm glad they were like, you know what, we should give equal service to everybody here and add the sledgehammer. That's awesome. Don't know why they're not adding knife books. But thanks to modders, I have some knife books anyway, so it works out. Okay, wiring. Not the one I wanted, but I'll take it. Running shaft. Can't really use that on anything, so it gets sold. We'll eat the potatoes. Okay. Definitely don't have enough time to do that job, and I don't feel comfortable enough doing it in the dark. So maybe not this one. Maybe we can find a little something to loot. Tier 2, acceptable. We'll loot a little bit. Maybe we'll find the main stash. Maybe we won't. And then, come on out. And we'll head home and call it a night. Oh. Good Lord. A lot of y'all in here. You guys finally break out from over there wherever y'all were trying to get out of. Where was? Oh, there's a doghouse. This is a fun and or interesting little POI. I'm enjoying it anyway. It's nighttime. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and head home. There's no sense tempting fate. I feel like the 1.3 update has added animals into regions that they didn't used to be in all the time. Are you feral? Yeah, fuck, you're feral. Shit. Come on. Okay. Wonder if Feral Big Boy followed me all the way or not. Looks like maybe not. Awesome. Okay. So we'll go back up here, call it a night. And I believe I will see y'all next week. This is Storm Raven signing off. Hope you enjoyed. I'm enjoying the new format. I feel like it's a lot easier to talk to y'all when I don't have to worry about what I'm going to cut out. And with a 22-minute day and an 8-minute night, you know, it really makes it so that I can just kind of keep talking to y'all without having to worry about too much of the boring stuff, because I kind of have to do all the boring stuff in that time frame anyway. So, this is Storm Raven signing off, and I'll see you next week.